Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Carlos Roberto along with Jake Berry, and it is the basketball playoff edition. And it seems like everybody held serve. They did held serve as far as the boys are concerned. All the district champions won in that first round of the playoffs like they're supposed to.
Yeah, there were some really good games. I think you saw a team like Nicky Rowe, who there were some coaches that were telling me they thought Nicky Rowe could get upset by Los Fresnos, and they weren't listening.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because somebody tweeted that out that there could be an upset in the brewing, but Rowe did a very good job. They were out there. They took care of business against Los Fresnos. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at those highlights. It was McAllen Rowe beating Los Fresnos by a final score of, trying to take a look at it, 67-47. Here are the highlights. This game was physical early on. Hugo de la Cruz is fouled here and goes down hard in this matchup here against Los Fresnos. He goes down hard, but he would be okay. Later, Rowe on the move now here. This is Jose Martinez, fakes one way and then lays it in. Los Fresnos now. Trevor Summer off the glass there, somehow gets it through that tough defense of McAllen Rowe. The Falcons playing very good early on. Roy Quesada from the inside there. And then watch this. David Tejada hits the three-pointer. But McAllen Rowe is number one in the Rio Grande Valley for a reason. Martinez here to Rudy Campos. 23 points for Alan Martinez. Rowe wins by a final score of 76-47. All right, so congratulations to McAllen Rowe. They move on to the next round of the playoffs. And McAllen Rowe, what do you think about them? Are they going to be the team that's going to go to that third round of the playoffs? They got a good matchup. They got to play Sherryland. So for those of you guys that are basketball fans, that's going to be a pretty good game to go watch.
Yeah, the thing about that team is they've got about 8 guys that they bring on the court that are actually really, really good basketball players. There's some explosive stuff that you don't really see with this team that I got to see when I coached the boys with, the team we had at Edinburgh one year. But this team, size-wise, they can compete with teams up in the Upper Valley, or not Upper Valley, but San Antonio area.
Sure.
They beat San Antonio teams. This team's got size. They've got speed. It's going to come down to three-point shooting, which they did really well against Los Fresnos. So, but yeah, they're a good high-low team, good entry team. They can go to the post, so they're a good team.
And Sherryland's a pretty good team as well. They got size. They can shoot from the outside as well. They match up pretty well against McAllen Rowe.
Yeah, Rowe earlier in the year beat them pretty handily, but that was pre-Pistocache.
Right.
So now with Pistocache there, it's a different team. Now, Sherryland can't just sit there and watch Jesse Pistocache dribble the ball. They've got to run an offense. But hey, look, they got the monkey off their back. They got their first victory in I think 11 years for that team, beating Laredo. Who was it?
They beat
Laredo United.
Laredo United, yes, 60-58 in overtime.
Yeah, and that's their first win. So and if they keep winning, Coach Keith could be on the sideline with that team again, which is a good reason to win.
That would be good. All right, and the other game, or another game to talk about, Harlingen. They beat McAllen Memorial by a final score of 50-34. Harlingen in that 32-5A. Harlingen South also won, doing a pretty good job here in the playoffs.
Yeah, Harlingen. Look, let's look at this. They had one guy that was 6'2", and they were going against a team that was 6'7", 6'6", and 6'5" in the post. And they took it to them. They out-rebounded them. They out-hustled Memorial. They were just quicker to the ball.
Sure.
And Memorial is a very young team. And they kind of demoralized them early in the game. And it was hard for Memorial to come back, even with the skills of DJ Johnson. They just weren't able to come back.
All right, in Harlingen, they're playing Laredo Alexander. That game is taking place as we speak right now because we're taping this show on Thursday night. But let's look back and go back and see Harlingen as they beat McAllen Memorial by a final score of 50-34. Here are the highlights. Memorial with their playoff blonde hair. Chris Cervantes inside scoring for the Mustangs. Harlingen now. This is the big man, Matthew Cervantes. Here, he's 6'3", and he could also not only work the inside, but he could also shoot from the outside. Then it's Memorial on the other end. Baseline jumper, David Johnson goes up, then it goes right back in the rim. Cervantes, again, watch him here, falling out of bounds, going left-handed. It was 20-8. McAllen in the first quarter. They get a shot there from the outside, and Cervantes, he was the man. He was definitely the one to look out for. 19 points for him, 16 rebounds, 2 blocks, as the Harlingen Cardinals win it by a final score of 50-34.
Hi, this is Amanda with 956sports.com. Check out this week's show where we take a look at soccer, basketball, and football from the past week. Come back Thursday morning for the only sports show in the RGV, and follow us on Twitter at 956sports and on Facebook.
And welcome back to the show. I'm Carlos Robledo along with Jake Berry, and now we're talking girls basketball. And there's only one team standing, and it's the Weslaco Lady Panthers. Kind of what we expected and kind of what they expected too. They were very confident coming into this game. They beat Laredo United. You got to see it live, or you saw it on 956sports.com. A low-scoring game. They won 43-33, their lowest output of the season. But they came in there with a lot of confidence. And you know why I knew they were confident? Because they already had their T-shirts ready. They had their Sweet 16 T-shirts already done, so the girls were wearing them, and that shows a lot of confidence in the girls.
Yeah, look, they've got one of the strongest teams that we've had down here in the Valley in some time. They've got a true post, which you really can't say that down here in the Valley that you have a true post,
right.
But they have a back to the basket, 6'2" post in Laura Van Tilburg, and they've got a guard that I think every team in the Valley wishes they had.
Sure.
So
Angela Villarreal.
Yeah, and Angie's one of those girls that she can get to the hole, she can shoot the rock, and they've got great players with them. Summer Smith, she plays great defense. She can put up some shots. We've seen them shoot really well against Harlingen South this last game. It proves that if it's a gritty game, they can still pull it out.
All right, let's hear from the girls and from Coach Griselda Fino. Once again, moving on to the next round of the playoffs where they'll play San Antonio Stevens. Can they win that game? Here's what they had to say.
Absolutely. We've got a little bit of everything. We've got a little bit of speed. We've got a little bit of a shooter. We've got an excellent point guard, great defense. We've got a big girl, and Megan's just coming along so well for us, and we definitely feel we have a chance.
We plan on pretty much winning the entire tournament. As long as we keep doing what we're doing, we could get there. As long as we have each other, we'll be able to get there again.
Do y'all think y'all can win the tournament starting on Friday?
Yeah, I honestly think we can. Whoever we have, I don't even know, but if we just play like our Panther basketball, then we'll be fine.
We already know what to expect at the Sweet 16, so we're gonna be prepared better and stronger, so we can play harder. And then we have Laura back, so it helps.
You have Laura back. You have the experience from last year. How is that going to help you all on Friday?
I think it's gonna make a change actually. If everyone's on, if everyone's playing their part, like Jocelyn, the sophomore, she's on shooting. I think we're all gonna get together and then get the win.
You think maybe this year y'all can win a game and maybe even take the tournament and go to the Final Four?
Yeah, we can. If we really stick to our game and don't play their game and play ours, we'll be fine.
Okay, so the Lady Panthers move on to the next round of the playoffs. That game will take place at University of Texas Pan American at 6 o'clock. I know the Panthers want all their friends and family to go out to the game, but if you can't make it or if you're out of town, because we have the World Wide Web now, we are going to do that game live on 956sports.com beginning at 6 o'clock, once again in collaboration with KWES and WISD. So let's talk a little bit more about the Weslaco Lady Panthers. We can go all day talking about them. 74-4 in the last 2 years. So you talk about dominance. You talk about a team that has it all and perhaps can win the regional tournament and go to the Final Four. This is certainly the team. If you take a look at their record at 74-4 and what they have done, that's against competition, not only here in the Valley, but outside of the Rio Grande Valley. They haven't lost to a team in the Valley in 2 years.
Yeah, look, we haven't seen a team like this since Bianca Torres' teams at Harlingen South and then Mara Guzman's teams at Edinburgh. This is one of those teams that, unlike those other teams that we just talked about, they have a true post. They have a true post that can actually score. They pose a different. It's a different team that you usually see in the Valley, and it's just a well-coached, really good team.
People were expecting them to play against Cibolo Steel, but they lost to San Antonio Stevens. Stevens pulled the upset. Cibolo Steel had two girls supposedly that had signed Division I letters of intent. They're going to go on to play college next year. So they're getting kind of a better matchup in Stevens because from what I understand, Stevens, they don't have anybody at 6 foot or above like Laura Van Tilburg at 6'3". So that's going to work to the Lady Panthers' advantage.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see tomorrow night is basically a lot of speed from the San Antonio team. You're going to see speed that they don't usually see down here at
Sure.
all the positions.
Sure.
So you're going to see that, but they're going to have to match up with the height. And a gritty guard like Angie Villarreal, it's going to be hard for them as well. And Weslaco's a really good team. They shoot well from the outside, so
Don't-
it's a hard matchup for Stevens.
Yeah, you don't want to sleep on Jazz Munoz either, or Jazz Muniz, I should say, either. She's a sophomore. She can load it up from the outside, and she'll start shooting those three-pointers, so you don't want to sleep on her either. A lot of weapons for the Weslaco Lady Panthers. Talk to me a little bit about experience, because this is a team, although Van Tilburg was not on the plane last year because she tore the ACL, but they have the experience. They went to the Sweet 16 last year, so this is their second year in a row. They feel comfortable. They're playing at UTPA. They got a lot going for them, don't they?
Yeah, and they got some confidence last year not having her there and playing well. So they played well in their game. I mean, look, they didn't have the firepower or the size to match up, but they know that they can play. I really think that they're more confident this year because they have Van Tilburg there. They know that if they get beat, there's somebody there to block the shot. So if you watch her block shots, it looks like volleyball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she gets up there. I think she had 4 or 5 blocks in her last game. She was scoring something like 24 points, then 27 points in her second game. I don't remember how many she had. I think it was 18 points in the last game. So she's been putting up a lot of numbers, has Van Tilburg. Also, this will be an opportunity for Van Tilburg to play in her first game at the University of Texas Pan American. She'll be playing there next year. So this is kind of like, hey, here I am, guys.
Dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal. Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and I think what you're going to see right now is that she's going to open the eyes of some other coaches that say, probably should have picked her up a long time ago. So, she's that good. She can actually she's going to open up some eyes.
Well, she was actually being looked at, and people have asked me, well, how come she's not going to Baylor or another university? She was actually being looked at by Baylor, but when she tore her ACL, her parents said, you know what, it'd be better if you stay closer to home. You're still rehabbing that knee, and you get the home cooking and all the benefits of playing near home, but you still have that D1 scholarship, and you're still playing big-time basketball in the WAC.
In the WAC, so it helps out.
Okay, moving on now. Got a coaching change. It seems like every time we do this show, there's some type of coaching change to talk about, and we have another one here tonight.
Yeah, I actually know him really well. Homer Gar, who was formerly at Roma before he was at Mackay. We're getting word today that from our sources that he was let go from his position as the head basketball coach of the Mackay Bulldogs. I'm going to tell you this right now. For those of you who don't know, when he was at Roma, the guy won. I mean, look, I know Roma's a basketball town, but the guy made the Sweet 16. He won district multiple times. You're talking about a winner. So, I'm not sure why. We don't know the reasons, but they made the playoffs. And that team, it was a tough district. That team made the playoffs, and best of luck to you, Coach Gar.
Yeah, usually make the playoffs. It gives you a little bit of job security, but I guess that's not the case in McAllen. Signings. There's some signings that are going on, and this is kind of my little soapbox. We go to all these signings, and congratulations to all the kids that are moving on to the next level. The only thing I have to say is, kids, when you sign, go away to school and stick it out. If you're on the JV team, or if you're not getting any enough playing time, stick it out. Get your education. Get your degree. Get your letterman jacket, play on the squad.
It helps with the girls.
It helps, absolutely. And of course, that's what they're thinking about right now. But a lot of the coaches are even saying that, hey guys, if you go away to college, I don't want to see you back here in 6 weeks. I don't want to see you back here at a high school football game. I want you to stick it out over there, wherever you're playing, whether it's at, Lindenwood or, one of the smaller schools, A&M Kingsville, or even at a big time school.
Yeah, you represent the Valley. So if you go up there and you leave within a year, a month, it has happened.
Sure.
They're going to be reluctant to recruit anybody down here again. So you have to remember that when you leave here, you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the next few kids that are right behind you, because they're going to remember how you acted when you go up. Compared to these, the future kids.
And it's not easy. We know that. We both went away to school. We know that, you have to study. You have to wash your own clothes now. And then you also have to go to practice. So stick it out and, represent the Valley well. All right. Well, that's it. That is the show. The playoff edition. We'll be back next week, and we'll be talking more basketball as the teams move on to the next round of the playoffs. For Jake Berry, I'm Carlos Robledo. We'll see you next time.